So we're picking up from where we left off with the AMain warranty process. So this is my second warranty through AMain for the ARRMA Big Rock. Warranties that, in their eyes, were justified. And I definitely appreciate the fact that AMain is handling my situation with my Big Rock, which is really not that bad of an issue when you think about it, seeing that the parts and turnaround time and warranty process has been absolutely painless. We're going to take this receiver right here, which is the SR300, SLR300 from Spectrum, from AMain in their warranty process. We're going to reinstall it back into the Big Rock. Hopefully, that's going to alleviate my current situation with only being able to drive the Big Rock about 40, 50 feet away from me until like it just goes into autopilot and rolls into traffic. So anyways, you want to see this episode from RC Guy Garage? Let's just get into it. So with the ARRMA Big Rock, we're back at it again. This was obviously a warranted situation where my receiver wire, once I opened up the box to go ahead and replace my ESC, my receiver wire was still attached. So I want to say it was probably still attached like around this area right here. And when I did the replacement of the ESC, obviously I had to pull the wire out. And when I pulled the wire out, smart guy being me, I took the receiver wire and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's definitely broken. And I gave it a little bit of a tug and the thing just like literally just, it sheared off in half because the top case effectively pinched the wire enough so that I had to go ahead and get a replacement through AMain. Now, the product for here, so your product number on here is SPMSLR300. And that is for this Spectrum SLR300 three-channel receiver. So we're going to take this, break it open up the Big Rock. We're going to do the whole rebinding process with this. I don't believe that I'm going to have to do anything concerning the, I don't think I'm going to have to like readjust the ESC because the ESC already kind of like knows where it is. But then again, maybe it's the receiver and I don't know. Maybe the whole rebinding process needs to happen again. That actually, now that I think about it, that might be the case. So I'm going to just go through the process anyway, and we'll see how it works out. Now, opening up this package, I'm not going to do the Ginsu like I usually do, just because I don't want to cut my receiver wire that's inside this container. And what I will say, right? So, kind of should have left that like that, but now that tag is off, this is the box that... So this is the box that this thing came in, right? Right here. So this is the box that it came in. Obviously, you knew there was something in it. And then when I opened it, I couldn't believe how well they packaged it because literally the thing is in the middle, in between layers of puff, which just, man, they wanted to make sure that nothing happened to this receiver. So that's pretty smart of AMain. Good packaging. And plus, I can use this box to send to somebody else. Said I wasn't going to Ginsu, but I'm just going to Ginsu this corner right here. So inside, what you get is you get the SLR300 receiver, three-channel receiver, and you also get a bind plug. So this little thing right here, don't throw these away. At some point, you may need to use this bind plug to bind your radio and your receiver. The only thing I don't know is if this receiver can be used for anything else. I'm not sure. I know that the new Losi drag car, I believe, has the SLR315, which you can rebind to another transmitter. I don't know if that's the case on this one right here, but it is Spectrum, so... I don't know, maybe I should check that out at some point. We also have what I want to call an undercutter. So I was offering this on the live for $500. This is a soldering station. It's signed by RC Guy Garage. It says what it is. It's got hole locations predetermined. It's a good size. And then this guy named Chef Beardsley comes out and's like, hey, I'm going to offer my soldering station to you guys for $300 shipped, and I'll customize the holes. Come on, guy, you're killing me. It's obviously a joke. All right, so we need to access where the receiver is. And it's kind of easy because it's located right here, right underneath the ESC. So if you don't know, this is the ARRMA Big Rock V3. Upgrades, they actually upgraded to a rubber sealed bearing. Now that bearing doesn't shift on the drive shaft because it doesn't float, because I used plumber's tape to take up the gap, and I kind of think now I understand why there was a little bit of floating there, but now this doesn't float. So this should be a more resilient, less vibratory drive shaft now that it doesn't float or move inside this area right there. No binding, everything's meant. So there's 2 screws to go ahead and get after this. We'll pop that cover off, and we'll check out the we'll pop the receiver out. So it takes a 2mm, 2 screws. These basically lock down the ESC. And if you got sensitive ears, be able to take that ESC and move it aside. There is 1 more screw for the switch right here. I'm going to pop that out. That's obviously a smaller screw compared to the other 2 cover screws that were in the in that top plate. Now the switch and that can kind of go to the side, and we can pop this cover. Now to get to the that little receiver, it's probably stick tape in there. Now, I'm not going to re-stick tape a new receiver down, so I'm going to pry that out of there. Just going to use a flat blade. I'm going to remove the wires. The first wire right there, that is in auxiliary, and that is for the fans. And I'm going to leave the wires in place because getting them past this little grommet can be a little bit of a pain. So this one right here, that was auxiliary for fan. This next one is for the ESC. And the next one, which is an orange, black, and gray. Black, orange, gray. And the black's to the outside. That's where the negative is. And that's for your steering servo. So now that that's all set, I'm going to go ahead, get a screwdriver in here, and I'm going to pry this receiver off of the old stick tape that's in there. Just like that. Now you can see, here's how short my wire was. Now what had happened was the cover had severed my wire because this red little silicone jacket piece where all the wires go through, that's what keeps the box, the receiver box, and all this stuff in there nice and dry. And unfortunately with mine, I'm going to stick that down. It looks like the stick tape might stay in there. So I want to think about that. So that stick tape actually stuck to that base. So I will end up using it. But anyways, the cover, while it does have like this little gap here, my wire was in this area right here, and it got severed right across these 2 little sections right here. So it would have been better if it was coming through this way, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So, but what I had found was this little silicone jacket piece. It was not sliced all the way down to the base. So it didn't allow all the wires to fit inside that little silicone jacket. So there you go. There's the stock receiver. Here is the brand new receiver, SLR 300. You can see it's the same exact thing. We're going to go ahead and toss this in. And what I will do is the auxiliary wire. Auxiliary wire, we knew that as the fan. The next one was going to be throttle. then steering. Channel 1 is always steering. Channel 2 is always throttle. Steering, well, at least for here. And then channel 3, which this one right here, is auxiliary. So there's the bind, little bind thing. I'm imagining that that little thing is probably a light. And I'm going to take that bind plug, doesn't matter which way you put it in. I'm going to take the bind plug and I'm going to stick it in there right now. Just so that I know that it's in position, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hook up my steering, throttle, and I can hook up the auxiliary. I don't really need to, but I'll just do it anyway. So steering first. Making sure to have the black on the outside because that's a negative. And if you're able to see, right on here, you can see there's a negative. I believe that's a positive. So next was the ESC, which is this one. That's throttle. Making sure that my black wire is to the outside, which is the negative. And then I'm going to stick this in place for now. Just like that. Check that out. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the fan, making sure that that black is to the outside. And I'm going to stick that into place. The last thing I'll do is I'll put the antenna wire going through the silicone jacket right here. There's a little slit right there, and I'll put that through that slit right there. I'm going to leave everything the way it is for now. Little bind plug is still right in there, and I might be able to see the wire, or I might be able to see the LED, I'm not sure. To go through with the whole binding process, I want to make sure that my steering trim, throttle trim, and I'm going to put the steering rate, can't remember if I'm supposed to have it all the way up or all the way down. I'm going to have steering rate all the way up at this point in time because I'm not sure where the position is supposed to be, and I'm going to go ahead and try that. You can see on the back side, you got your steering, throttle, those are reversing switches, then your power switch all the way. I've got that on 100 right now. Just going to leave it as is. I'm going to power on the transmitter, and I'm going to go ahead and put a battery inside this truck. All right, so these are the Ovonic Air packs that I run inside this truck. These are an Ovonic Air 7600 50C pack. These things are absolutely perfect for this vehicle. So I'm just going to hook it up right on the outside here. Make sure you don't try to reverse connect. We already had that debacle. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it up. Bind plug is in. I'm going to turn it on. And look at that. It's literally binded like that fast. So I'm going to shut it off. Shut this off. And I think that's how it gets done. Now, I'm going to pop this out just for now. This little bind plug. Pop that bind plug out. I'm going to stick it right there on the kickboard. Turn this back on. Turn the switch on. Solid red. We got no steering. I might have to... Yeah, see? I think the flashing light might mean that the batteries are dead in the remote. So... I might have to set some kind of endpoints on the... Oh, wait a minute. The steering was disconnected. How'd that happen? How'd that happen? Alright, no, never mind. Alright, it's fine. Somehow I disconnected the steering when I pulled the bind plug. But I'm assuming that flashing light right there means that Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that means that this thing is detecting that these batteries are severely low. So that is all set. I didn't realize that I had pulled out the steering with the bind plug. So that's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and button this up now. I'm going to stuff the wires down and in, get them right out of the way. I'm going to take my antenna wire now. Here's the only negative I didn't think about. I need to refeed my antenna wire into that tube. So I think I need to see how that is in there. So I'm going to take a pair of pliers and pull up on this tube, if it'll let me. Okay. Won't let me. So I gotta get that wire into the antenna tube. So we know it's all binded. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the truck over. Looks like we got one screw there. So there's a screw there, and I almost think it's integrated. Kind of a little bit of a pain in the neck. So I'm going to have to take out this receiver box and the servo to get the wire to feed into that antenna tube. All right, so to do that, looks like it's going to be this screw right here, this one, and possibly that one, and that screw that's attaching the, yeah. There's one screw right there that I can get at. See right there? I could actually get to that screw, which will disconnect it from... Not sure if that's the route I want to go. Kind of have a feeling I think I'm going to try. I feel like that would be difficult to get at. So I'm going to go ahead and get after that screw right there. That's not the normal screw, by the way. That's a screw I had to put in. Go after this screw. And I'm going to use my driver to make quick work out of it. God, these bits bite. Look at how tight that bit bites on there. Now everything should have just dropped out. Yep. All right. Receiver box dropped out. You get a look at the honking receiver, the servo saver that's on the back of here. So this will be easy enough now. I can go ahead, pull out the old wire, which is still stuck in the tube. And I can fish the new wire down into its slot, making sure that that stays there. I almost feel like I want to put it in and through. I'm going to try putting it in and through down here somewhere. See if it'll go through the silicone. Might not. Yeah, never mind. All right. So I'm going to make sure it's like that. Bring it down, making sure it's down inside. I'm going to take it, swoop it back up, and put it right inside the antenna hole, which is right here. Right there. I feel like it would be better to take this out. I'm going to try taking this antenna tube out. Boy, it doesn't want to come out, man. There we go. feed the antenna up. Then I'm going to take the actual antenna tube, put it right inside, and then shove that right into place. Shoving that in there is not that easy. There we go. There we go. Little tiny antenna piece sticking out of there. I'm going to go ahead and flop this back into position, making sure things aren't too twisted. Flip the car over. I usually use a driver to locate the holes for me to make it easier. So what I'll do is I'll put a driver in, and the driver will usually locate my holes. So just put it into position. See if I can take a driver and locate the hole this way. There we go. See how it located the hole for me? I could take one screw. That should be enough. Now the only thing is I don't know if I have to set my endpoints for the throttle. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and give it a shot. See, that driver usually always torques them just right. I'm not getting anything out of these. God, look at how hard that bites. And now I have to go for this linkage right here. Right in there. So again, I'll use something to line it up, just like that. And this one's taking my special gold screw. Done. Now we'll go ahead and make sure that these wires are where we want them. So it looks like somehow this got flipped. I want that wire like that. Flip that around there. Somehow it got twisted up. So I want to make sure, see my antenna wire popped out of that little jacket. I want to make sure that that stays in there, because I don't want no antenna wire getting mangled. So put a pull on that. You can see it's down and inside the jacket. Take my cover, make sure that that orientation is facing that way. Place the cover in there. I'm going to take my switch, do my switch first. And that was the shorter screw. Just like that. Now this will now hold down the ESC cover and the ESC. Now, I will usually with these just kind of give it a little hand crank like that. Same thing with that. Same thing with there. Plug it back in. Make sure this is on. On. Endpoints actually seem fine. Alright, seems fine. It looks like I didn't have to do anything with the throttle. But that blinking light right there, pretty sure that has to do with telling me that these batteries, something's going on. I don't have full voltage. So it'll be time to throw in some freshies or figure out which offending cells or which offending batteries are giving you a problem. But right now, I'm going to make sure that that battery is 100%. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that battery is 100% because having a transmitter with low batteries is definitely not going to be the way to go. Like I said, you're going to throw some freshies in here, and then I'm going to take this thing out for a rip. It's been a while since I've ripped this big rock, so hang tight because right now we're going to go outside despite the temperature of the weather. Despite the temperature of the weather, which it's, hey Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now, it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit.
24 degrees. I guess that's close enough.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Anyway, we're going to go outside. I'm going to see if I can run it the way it is without setting my full throttle, reverse, and obviously, you know, being at the neutral. And, you know, obviously forward being the brake. I want to see if I don't have to set the endpoints. And then what I might do is I might come back inside and do the quick little ESC reset thing or set thing, and then reset my full throttle or my neutral, full throttle, and brake. It's very easy to do. So anyways, yeah, let's just get outside. I'm hoping that calling this Big Rock the EXB isn't a downgrade. You can see Big Rock's got a little bit of something hanging on the top right there. Hopefully to help with the roof grinding issues that this thing pretty much has. Well, not all the time, but hopefully it'll help with the roof grinding issues. So anyways, we're out on the backyard track and we're gonna see a little cold out, but I haven't been out here with the Big Rock since it's been looking like this. So I'm pretty excited. So anyways,
let's just get out and rip it.
oh. Ooh, it's dry enough out here. Yes! It's about time, man. Out in the backyard track with the Big Rock. Oh! Whoa! Forget how to drive it.